Hi there.
Hi.
Please, go ahead and have a seat.
Thanks.
So, Lois, right?
Yep.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, I'm doing well.
Good.
So, what I'd like to do today, first off, my name is Clayton Peterson, I can't forget that part. My name is Clayton Peterson. I'm a social worker here at Family Service Agency, where I obviously have a meeting that you had voluntarily come to. So I'd like to talk a little bit before we go into anything, so we can kind of be clear about what happens.
Okay.
So, this is a counseling session, right? What do you know about counseling?
I know that, well, from what I know, counselor sits on a couch, asks how I feel, I tell him. That's about it. Talk about my feelings, I guess.
Definitely. So this is a place, a safe place, for you to unload, for you to tell me anything. Anything that you find important, anything that you're doing really well, anything that you're finding difficult. So that way we can take an approach to do whatever we can to make that better. We'll have goals, and we'll figure out what the best route is for you together. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So before we go into anything, I have this little form right here that I'd like to fill out with you.
Sure.
This is a lot of just basics. Right here, it's just asking you like name, address, anything like that. But then it does go a little bit more in depth, and it starts talking about how you are, okay? And like emotional or anything like that. But we'll get to that, okay?
All right.
So the first things first, I have to explain confidentiality.
Sure.
Confidentiality means that whatever you say is going to stay between us. So whatever you decide to tell me, whatever it may be, I won't go tell anybody else, okay?
Okay.
There are three kind of limits to that though, three exceptions, should I say. The first one is that if you tell me that you're hurting yourself, if you're hurting other people, or if other people are hurting you. If any of those three things occur, then we're going to have to go reach out to somebody else, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So do you mind if I take notes?
Go ahead.
Perfect. So please, how do you spell your first name?
It's Lois.
Lois.
L-O-U-I-S.
Oh, it's almost spelled like Lewis. Nice. Lois. And what is your last name?
Wilson.
Wilson. W-I-L-S-O-N?
Yes.
Do you have a middle name?
I do not.
And when were you born?
I was born July 13th, 63.
Right. Okay. And today is is it the 7th? That sounds right. We're going to go with the 7th.
Okay. You could just change it later, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. All right. What gender do you identify as?
Female.
Female. Okay. What race do you identify as?
White.
Okay. And what's your address?
156 Smith Street.
Okay. That's here in Waterman, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your number?
It is 773 421 1633.
Okay. So, from here I'd like to open it up a little bit, okay? We're just going to have a conversation. So let's start off. Where do you currently live? Or who do you currently live with? Forgive me.
I live with my husband,
What's your husband's name?
Bill
Bill.
Wilson.
Tell me about it.
Well, I'll be blunt. The reason I came to talk with you is because he's an alcoholic. He's been struggling with it for a while now, and it's just been really stressful on me personally. So.
Okay. So how long has he been dealing with alcoholism?
About 8 years now.
Okay. 8 years. Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you two are still together?
Yes.
Got it. And you live together?
Yep.
Are you married?
Yep.
Okay. How's marriage?
It's hard. It's stressful. I guess it's hard because of his alcoholism. I kind of resent him because I feel like he'd rather be drinking, and I feel like he doesn't want to give it up. I've asked him so many times. I just wish that he would give it up so I wouldn't, I don't know, we fight a lot over it.
Okay.
We yell a lot, actually. So marriage has been hard, but I do love him, so I'm still here.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted help, because it's getting to the point where I don't know if I can take it anymore.
Got it. After 8 years, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Not only is it hard, I think a better word is challenging. To have a person that chooses to drink even though they know it could be hurting themselves and hurting the people around them. I get that.
I don't think he sees it that way. I think he just, I don't know.
How do you think he sees it?
I think he just has a good time, and he, I don't know, I think he likes the way it feels when he's drunk, and it kind of makes me wonder if that's the only thing that makes him happy, you know?
What makes you think that? What makes you think, let me clarify, I'm sorry. What makes you think that that's the only thing that makes him happy?
Because it's all he ever wants to do. Whenever I ask him, like, I don't know, if we can go out and do something, he'd rather just be at the bars with his friends. Like, I don't know, I might want to go see a movie, but he'd rather be at the bars.
So you don't spend much time together?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. So I'm curious, how often would you say he gets drunk?
Every day.
Okay.
Yeah, usually gets out of work and goes straight there, comes home, and actually sometimes he doesn't come home, and it's scary because sometimes I can't find him, can't get a hold of him. But
So you have to go out looking for him.
I have many times, yeah.
That's stressful. That's terrifying, it seems. I remembered you saying that sometimes you two fight about it. What does that look like?
We usually fight when he's drunk, so he doesn't really have control over himself. He usually raises his voice, and when he raises his voice, I raise it back, which can't be healthy for us supposed to be yelling all the time, but I feel like it's the only way I can get my point across, and I feel like when I'm trying to do that, he doesn't even hear me out. Sometimes,
Intoxicated.
yeah, sometimes he storms out.
Okay, so sounds counterproductive that one person starts yelling, so the other one's got to yell back, and nothing ever really gets solved. There's no communication. So you talked about when you fight when he's drunk. Do you guys ever fight when he's sober?
Yeah, sometimes. Usually, when he tells me he's going to the bar after work, I'll kind of tell him, like, why can't you just come home, and that makes him angry, and we fight when he's sober at that point, but it's fighting over him being drinking, so
it seems to
being
be
drinking, yeah.
pretty revolved around alcohol.
Most of our fights are, yeah.
Okay. So what about Evan? How are you and your husband outside of alcohol?
I mean, we're good. We've been together for about 15 years now. But I don't know. We used to be really good. We used to spend a lot of time together. Now it seems like we don't. I mean, I try to be supportive of, his job. He's been bouncing around from job to job.
Yeah.
So I guess sometimes we talk about work when we can, how he's doing, how I'm doing. We're okay.
You're okay. Okay.
Outside of alcohol, we're okay.
Yeah. So when you do spend time together, that's outside of it. Not fighting, not drinking involved, just spending time together. What do you guys usually do?
I like to watch movies, so we go to the movies sometimes. If not, it's just us talking over dinner. I make dinner at home a lot, so usually it's just us sitting at the dinner table talking.
Okay. And how is that? How do you feel about that is kind of what I want to know.
It's nice. When he's sober and we're sitting at the dinner table, it's nice to have a conversation with my husband when he's, thinking clearly. It kind of feels like I had the old him when we first started dating. Yeah. I guess I always get scared of bringing up the topic of alcohol and us fighting again, because I don't like fighting with him. I really don't. But yeah, on those rare occasions that he is sober, it's nice to have a piece of him back. And I feel like I've lost bits of him over the years.
Yeah.
So.
And focusing on something that isn't directly hurting you,
Yeah.
having conversations where you can talk. But I am curious, when he's sober, do you ever talk about his drinking habits?
I used to bring it up. I used to try to tell him, that it hurts me that he does it so much. I just stopped because it eventually just turns into this fight, and he doesn't think it's a problem, and he's just having a good time with his friends. So I used to bring it up, but not so much anymore, because it seems pointless.
Okay. So it seems like you feel like you have no choice.
Yeah.
You can't talk about it when he's sober because he's not willing to listen. You can't talk about it when he's drunk because he can't listen. What other choice do you have? That can be difficult. So, when he drinks, when he hurts you like that, how does it make you feel?
Betrayed, I guess. I don't know what the right word for it is. I just get really mad at him, like I don't know why he can't just give it up, or even if he says he's doing it to have a good time, why can't you just have one? Why do you have to drink so much that you don't even act like yourself? You know what I mean? He's been hospitalized a couple times.
Yes.
Because it went so far, and he's gotten out of control. It's been tough. And then my dad gets on my case a lot. Even though I am a grown woman now, he asks me why I put up with it, and I just feel like I've invested so much of my life into him. I don't want to give up on him, but I kind of wish he saw what I see. Does that make sense?
It does.
But it doesn't seem like he ever will.
Okay. I'm wondering if there's something more. You had said your dad gets on your case, which I think means that, or at least the way I'm taking it, is that he says that maybe you should get somebody better because he's not treating you right? Am I taking that correctly?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he is my dad, so he
Looks
just
out
wants
for
the
you.
best for me.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I can see that.
So you had said that, you've spent a lot of time with Bill. I'm wondering what else you see there. What are the reasons might you have for staying?
I guess I just hope that one day he'll stop, and because the beginning of our relationship was lovely. I mean, I do love him a great deal. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
So I guess I still have hope that maybe one day he'll stop and I'll get him back.
I see a lot of devotion and a lot of commitment to somebody that you may feel like betrays you, as you had said, which to be betrayed by the person that you literally give your life to could be most likely one of the most painful experiences you ever feel.
Yeah, we've been through a lot together too. I mean, I had 2 miscarriages. So that's a little bit about my past.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I guess that's kind of when it started. Bill was in the war, so I had a miscarriage when he was overseas. It was really hard not having him here when it happened. He was heartbroken when he came back. And yeah, now that I think about it, I think that is when he started drinking more heavily, because before it was just a social thing. You know, we would actually both have a couple here and there. We would go out with friends. But it started more after the miscarriage. But it's like, if I didn't need that to cope, why does he? Like, if I got through it just fine, which don't get me wrong, it was very hard to get through it, but I did. And you don't see me at the bars blacked out drunk every week, you know what I mean? So I kind of guess I just don't understand why that works for him, and I don't know, he's never really talked about it.
Sounds like there's a little bit of resentment there. That while it may be both of your children, you're carrying the child.
Right.
And you lost it, you could find another way to get around it. To help yourself. But you have a husband that can't. Or at least the only way he can find is through alcohol. I can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of like I had to help us both.
We talked about how Bill felt about the miscarriage. I'm curious about what you feel.
I was heartbroken as well. We've always talked about having kids. My second miscarriage was so bad that I actually can't have kids anymore, so that hurts because, you know, we've always talked about that future together, and now we don't have that future together. So it hurts. But what can I do?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can see it was a traumatic moment for you. But right now, it seems like it's okay. Not that having a miscarriage would ever be okay.
No.
But that you're gonna be okay. That as a person, you can find that will to get by.
I think I've accepted it. Because when Bill was away, I had a lot of time to think about it to myself, and I cried a lot over it. But I don't know, I guess I'm just wondering, or just trying to look at the bright side. Not the bright side, but I don't know, I've accepted it, and it's like, I just feel like if I think about it every single day of my life, I'm just gonna be miserable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still hurts, it's still sad, because if I think about it, they'd be like 5 years old, 8 years old right now. I'd have 2 little kids running around, and I don't. But at the same time, I can't think about it every day.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I've kind of told myself that I can't let myself go there, you know what I mean?
Okay. So have you ever talked to anybody about it? Bill, parents, anybody like that?
Bill doesn't like to talk about it. I talked with my mom a lot. She was really supportive through it all. She was usually the one I was crying with. So I guess my mom was a big support, but every time I tried to talk to Bill about it, he just shut me out. And I'm not saying it hurt one of us more, because it hurt both of us equally. but I guess like you said, since I was the one that was carrying it, it kind of went deeper for me, so you'd think I would be the one that had the bad coping skill, but it's him, and I guess I just don't understand why.
So let's think for a moment. During that time, either one, what helped you?
Well, like I said, my mom. I called her a lot. What else did I do? I was working at the time, so I guess having a distraction where I didn't have to lay in bed all day thinking about it might have helped.
Being productive.
Yeah.
Definitely. It seems like you're doing one of them right now. Breathing. A lot of us forget how to do that.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Take a couple breaths. Take time out of your day to breathe. And it seems like you do that without even noticing it. Which can truly just bring you from up here, just back down to here. A nice peaceful level. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what you did at the time, but at least right now, I see that you do that to help bring yourself back down. And that's huge. That's good. Okay.
He was at the war when it happened, so maybe he didn't have time to process it because he was, or maybe he felt guilty for being away.
And he was at war.
Yeah.
Big deal. Can be a terrifying experience for a lot of people. And then to come back to what he would hope would be a beautiful reunion, and I'm certain he was happy to see you. But to have that horrible news, that can really hit somebody hard. Make it feel difficult. Yeah, I could see that too. But we can't forget about you and what you've been through in not having your own husband there when you had the miscarriage.
Yeah. Sure. But I had my mom.
You did have your mom. What about your dad? What does your dad know of this?
When I had the miscarriage?
Anytime.
Well, he knew about it. I didn't go to him very